All right, we are at the finish line. I'm just gonna simulate this final show, playing this on extreme mode. Let's see what we get. No, do do do. All right, here's my show, and 5-star, 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 5-star extreme matches. Oh, too easy. I thought they said this mode was supposed to be tough, but let's just look at this ranking really quick. 559,000 fans changed, 400,000 K, nice. Week 25, season 4 done, 10 trophies, and almost or over 1 million more fans than Extreme AI. Wow. If only I had some tips and tricks so that way other people can do the same thing. Oh, wait. Why, hello, Internet! My name is Prunk, and today we are going to be going over tips and tricks on MyGM mode. I am a self-proclaimed master of this game. I've been playing since 2K22 or 23, yeah, 22, and I've been mastering them all on the hardest difficulties consistently. I'm going to show you a little bit of my current playthrough, my very first playthrough, playing through this game on extreme mode with the least amount of money. Here's how those seasons turned out really quick, just so you guys know that I'm actually confident on what I'm saying. I'm not just playing my GM mode and going in blind and making content. I am actually good at this game and will make right decisions, and I want to teach you how to do the same thing. So, real quick, here's just my credentials. Alright, see that? This is Season 1. This is Extreme Mode. Again, #1 spot with Tyler Breeze. 2 trophies by 1, only beating by 100,000 fans, but it's only the first season. And then we go on to Season 2. Season 2 by about 30,000 fans and an extra trophy as well. Hey, I'm winning. And again, this is all on Extreme Mode. At the end of season 3, I forgot to save that cool little screenshot, so I just went to this part instead. But hey, look at that! I'm Ryan, first place again with Tyler Breeze, 6,000,000 and 6 million. I don't know, math is hard. 6,100,000 fans, all the way to CPU number 2, Teddy Long, down by like 80,000 fans. Wow! Holy snaps! And finally, as you can see here, 10 10 trophies. This is actually on week like 18 when I had 10 trophies up on them, and you got to see the little ending bit of that recording showing that I just dominated final season. Okay, so enough bragging. I'm actually going to get into the tips and tricks for you guys. So let's go over the tips. All right, so #1, this entire game that I'm going to stress at is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Conserve your stamina. You do not need to put on major matches every week. Stamina is king throughout this entire game series. If your people are too weak to compete, then you're going to have a bad time. People are going to get injured. They're going to be pissed off that you let them get injured. Stamina is king, and really do what you can to take care of them. But just remember that you don't need to be putting on Hell in a Cell matches every week. You can go a majority of the first season without really putting on any matches stipulations of whatsoever if you really want to. I do it all the time. Don't feel like you need to make every week a Hell in a Cell match. Completely normal matches are completely fine. Please don't abuse the stamina. #2 is all about money. Money, money, money. This year, it is more important than anything. I thought last year's money balancing thing was tough. This year is insane. Not only is it there to help you need the money to buy matches and buy talents, but now logistics are permanent this year, which you think sounds like, oh, that would save me money. But no, it's actually more expensive to do so because you have to constantly level them up on top of balancing your roster and playing at a $2,500 pool that I've been doing. It's not fun having to do that. It is really tough. So your money is key. These one-time purchases, you need to buy them as a top priority, which kind of leads me to my #3 set. We were talking about logistics. I'm slightly annoyed that I retired that playthrough, so I can't even go back in and show the logistics, but we're just going to go from here. All right, I just went up a fresh playthrough real quick just so I can go over it. But logistics, these are crazy, crazy important this year. You automatically, and one big thing that has changed is the bonuses for logistics have changed since last year. So you no longer have to have 5 specialty matches in order to get this morale bonus, or you need to have promo skills of at least 50 to have this bonus. you automatically get bonuses just for having these things set up. So one big thing, if you went to like say the high school, at the very bottom it shows that the show quality is automatically just +8. So you get a capacity of 2,000. You unlock tickets, and then you unlock submission matches. Or ticket prices are $4, so you kind of have a general idea of what you're going to be making with these arenas. And it kind of does that all the way down to the very bottom, which is really nice. So logistics are one-time purchases, so it is extremely important. So like after this draft, I just automatically generated it. I can't even buy a concert hall, which is, you should definitely leave yourself enough money to buy the concert hall the very, very first time. So make sure you have at least 100K at the end of your draft so you can buy this right off the gate, because you're going to want to make that extra money as soon as possible. The difference between these, you more than double your amount of money you can make from the high school all the way to the concert hall on that first session, and it matters a lot. So some of these other logistics, the road crew, this one is going to focus on getting your show compensation, so making your shows slightly cheaper. I believe that's what it means by that. I have not, it's by such small amounts, I never noticed it in gameplay, but it show cost compensation, I have to assume, just means making your shows slightly cheaper. So 5% here, 4% here. So it does add up, but I haven't noticed it personally. I did think this was the worst one because I only got it to like tier 4 in my 4-season playthrough. When we go to these special effects, this is guaranteed extra fans that you're going to be getting for having these. So again, I feel like this is probably one of the more important ones. It is a big boost in fans per week, so don't skip out on the pyros because pyro is just really cool. And when it comes to the more money, again, it is the advertisement. Getting an extra network deal payout by $1,000 doesn't seem like much, but again, it adds up. There's been times where I've been short like $900. So it does give consistent extra money. It doesn't make as big of an impact compared to like the actual gyms. Or the arenas. So I would highly prioritize arenas, followed by probably the fan base. Or the fans aren't even that important. Like I would probably just still go with stadium, advertisement, tier, fog effects and stuff like the effects show, and then road crew is not really that high of a priority, to be honest with you. So logistics are huge. You cannot skip on them. They get more expensive as you need. One other thing, if you just skip the tutorial, is every week you get extra assets unlocked in the top left corner. It says assets 2. If I play through episode 1 right here or in day 1, then that'll go to assets 3 next time if I don't buy anything. So that's how you unlock assets through the game. The game does explain that through text, but if you're like me, you're probably just going to skip through all the reading because who wants to read all that stuff? Now, if you're like me, and we're going to talk about how to buy your stars. If you are like me and like to play the game on the hardest difficulty, then I start with a budget of 2,500 or 2.5 million. I don't know. 2.5 million, and then I play on extreme mode. If you are playing at a higher cost, then you don't need to follow this rule exactly, but it's probably a good idea to get into this habit. If you really are going to go through MyGM mode to challenge yourselves, then it's a good idea to get into some of these tips. If you're playing for fun, this tip you can kind of skip or maybe just fiddle with the numbers. But basically, you want to make sure that you're buying 4 headliners, 2 men and 2 women. Unless you're playing ECW, then you can just go for 4 men because the women don't have belts in this game. For ECW specifically, it's just their thing. So, like, I, for example, might look at the people and say, okay, well, I have a green bruiser here and a red fighter. They are both high popularity kind of superstars. I can go Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, basically. Well, assuming they don't get Finn Balor. So you want to make sure that you're getting 4 super strong superstars for your roster. 1 for each, and then you're gonna go to like a cheaper character pool. Because like, look at the cost difference. They're in like the high 30, 40Ks, whereas nobody was in the 30,000 range last year. And now playing with a 2,500 budget, this is significantly higher costs associated with these superstars compared to last year. So you have to go cheap. I bragged about Joaquin Wilde. He is, again, the MVP of the game. MyGM mode, I know, I'm sure if Joaquin ever played this, he's probably pissed, but Joaquin Wilde is the best superstar in MyGM mode because he is so cheap, has such high stamina. He is amazing. So I'm going for Joaquin Wilde because I can build him into a mega star really easy for a crazy budget. I'm going to need a Red Giant and climb all the way back up there. But hey, I am totally okay with that. Which kind of brings us to our other point, though, really quick. I do want to jump into, and that is talking about making sure that everybody, all the Pokemon, are the same. So far, I have drafted my green bruisers. I'm gonna put so I have a green bruiser and a red fighter for the men's side. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm only gonna draw if I can get a cheap red fighter, somebody who will be able to feud with Bray later on. I'm gonna do that. I didn't really scout this entire thing that well, but like maybe I should have gone with a red fighter because then I could have came in and got Carl Anderson a little bit cheaper. There's not really that many cheap. I can go with Brutus Creed for a good cheap bruiser for myself to kind of pair with Finn after they're done feuding, and then now go with a red fighter. So you just want to keep those the same because you want to be able to look for your matches in the future and say, well, okay, once Bray and Balor are done feuding, hopefully at that point Brutus Creed has bumped up enough in popularity and stuff where he's actually going to put on a good main event show against somebody like Finn Balor. So you just want to be thinking about that with your drafts. If you're going to pick fighters, make sure they're the same Pokemon type. Like I want a red fighter and green bruisers to face with them, and try not to mess with that formula too much unless you really need to. But that's what the role changes are for, or not even the role changes, the role changes, not the class changes. I'm not going to go over all of these guys. In fact, I'm really only going to go over one of them because it affects the gameplay design by a lot and how you progress through the game. So I'm sure people will do a video of, hey, here's the MyGM tier list, whatever. You'll find that, I'm sure. So, and they're going to be more popular than me anyway. But what I do want to go over is Mr. Paul Heyman is great. Have all promos. That's not even it. His ability actually sucks. It doesn't matter. We're just going to pick Paul. But his ECW brand, don't face this brand. If you want to have fun, don't face this brand, especially not on extreme mode. It's hard. It is really challenging. You're going to lose your first 15 weeks because of Paul Heyman and ECW. And that is because his power card you get to use twice, and it says block all opposing brands from using 3 randomly selected champions in the next show. Cannot be used in week 25. This mother effer comes in on week 5 and 10 every single time and blocks your champions, meaning you can't blow off your feuds, and at that point you are at your poorest, so you can't buy extra people very easily to get around this. So I did actually play like the first few episodes of a kind of to do a test run to see I knew exactly what I was going to do on like the first like 10 seasons, and it was ridiculous how much work that power card did for him. It was insane. I was behind by a lot. On my second playthrough or my first official playthrough, I knew how to play around it a little bit, and I focused on putting. I didn't put my tag team belts on for like the first 10 weeks. That is something you can do to get around it if you really want to, just because then at least now your tag champions won't get banned, and it's just who's going to get banned, and you can plan around it. But oh my god, this guy, just avoid ECW. It is not fun to play against. Or if you're trying to make it harder on yourself, then play against ECW because they are easily the toughest brand on extreme mode. You just do not have the money to deal with his power card. All right, let's talk about contracts. So when you come in here to buy contracts, you're going to look at Lula Tandy, and she's going to say, hey, I want 5 weeks, and it's going to be 10K. I can go page down and all the way start to offer her a full end of season contract if I really wanted to. That makes power cards that like NXT 2.0 who allow you to cut contracts in half. You want to use that power card and then buy people at full season. So don't forget that you can actually adjust their their entire end of season. Instead of just buying them for 5, 6, 7 weeks or so on. It's actually cheaper to do that too. In comparison. So like if I look at it's a $38,000 5 weeks or end of season salary, which is 25 weeks, versus 3,000. I'm basically saving almost $1,000 every time I go up, basically. So it adds up. So if you can afford to buy full contract salaries, at least on the jobbers that you feel like you're going to carry for a while. Like if I had, let's just say that Tavish was a giant and Dante Roberts is a cruiser, then I would probably buy both of them and just at full week contracts because I'm like, hey, look, these guys are people I can keep on my brand the entire season at a low cost. So it's something to consider. But don't be afraid to buy full contracts on people. And when you do buy somebody at 5 week, you can offer them a full-time contract later on. It'll prompt you in the menu system. So Just don't be afraid, and just remember that you can actually adjust how long the contracts you buy people for, which is great. This area will kind of lead me into our talent scouts as well. So talent scouts, this is an interesting mechanic. I don't know if I like it better or not. It is different. Not necessarily in a bad way, not necessarily in a good way. It's just different. But the nice thing about it is I can specifically search. So like let's say I said I wanted a cruiser or I wanted a red giant. Well, now I can go in here and say I want a male, I want a red, and I want a giant. The reason I don't like it is that costs to be that specific, it's going to cost me 4 out of my daily 5 scouting points in order to search for. If I go into renowned stars, so like it does get more expensive to like now it costs me 5 scouts, and then if I wanted legends, it's gonna cost me 6. So I will say it's very rarely worth getting a 5-star legends or immortals contracted up until like season 2 or 3, because it also costs you, not only does it cost you like those talent scouts, it costs you 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, $100,000 to search for those contracts, and then you have to pay for those contracts on top of it. So it's rarely worth to do immortals and legends. I will probably stick to renowned stars in most cases. So like right here, I wanted Dante Roberts. I'm just going to buy him real quick for 5 weeks, and I am going to search for some money, and now I have Dante Roberts who's coming in, and he's going to be facing off against Gunther. Gunther is going to squash him for a little bit, and hey, I have enough money to go. So what I say first, we want to buy that logistics. I have just enough money to go in and buy those logistics to get that concert hall as well. Perfect. $1,300. I'm sorry, $1,300 is not bad. I don't know how math money works, man. I can't say numbers, but that is. I have my settings up for the next show. I can, yeah, talent scouts and logistics all kind of combined in together. We're seeing that in practice. Awesome. One last thing about the talent scouts as well is that eventually you'll get power cards that will say you gain 10 power scouts. I would recommend keep those for a rainy day when you really, really need them. Sometimes the AI will play a power card that it removes your 5 that you get automatically on a daily basis to 0. So you don't get a chance to scout for anybody that day, and you need those plus 10 power cards to like scout. So really save those ones pretty well, which this actually brings me to my next point, and that's if you don't use it, you lose it. At the end of a season, not like unlike last year where you got to keep all your power cards throughout an entire series, you actually lose out on your power cards if you don't use them. So any health spas that you have saved, any coast to coast, any of those talent or specialty matches, bonuses that you have, those all go away if you don't use them. You can no longer hoard power cards over a season, which I think is a bad. I don't like, because I feel like if I earned it, I should be able to use it when I want to use it when it's more advantage. And sometimes I just can't afford to put on some of the specialty matches either in the first season. So like I like it. Just make sure that you use all your power cards before the end of the season. Also, a lot of them do have restrictions for they can't be used before pay-per-views or PLEs. So make sure that you use them on like the week before the PLE to kind of screw with their possible final plans. Or one other big thing you could do is save all your your hate stuff for the week of WrestleMania. Like the WrestleMania buildup is when they're going to get the most amount of fans. That is a perfect time to just throw out everything at second place, and hopefully you can screw them over throughout that entire week. That way they can't really get a good chance to compete, and if you're behind, hopefully you gain some ground. But if you've been following these tips, you probably are going to be way ahead of them anyway, so just to solidify your lead more often. All right, my number 10 tip, I think this breaks it down to. I didn't really number these very well. But hey, again, I'm not doing this in any kind of professional format. I'm just trying to get that information out to you guys. So I want you guys to have fun with MyGM mode. It is my favorite thing. I have hundreds of hours into this mode, and I'm still not bored with it. I have so much fun with it. But one last tip I want to really leave you with. Every year, I've never really used advertisement promos, and I feel like this year they are significantly more needed. Because money is going to be so tight on a weekly basis, you will probably want to have an advertisement monkey, basically. Somebody with a high skill on promos who can basically run them almost every week and not lose out on that kind of popularity. just because it's so important to get this extra money. So like, let me show you this booking real quick. I'm just gonna auto book it really quick. I'll go in. Let's see. This versus my fighter. Our Truth is my main event. We're gonna go in and get Becky versus. Oh, actually, I want Ronda here. So we're gonna just have Thea versus Giant in the mid card. Men, I don't have enough people for this. We can do this, and then we can do. I do not have enough. Oh, I do have enough men. I need literally a red fighter real quick. Do I have one in here? Do I have that red specialist still? I do. Let me just grab Tavish real quick. And we'll put this in the tag team. There we go. And this will be... Oh, I can't even do mid-card. They don't have a mid-card belt. Wait, do they not have... They have a mid-card belt. Who has it? Oh, that's stupid. Okay, whatever. I gave it to him. So this is my... So this will be my match. And then from here, I'm going to put... Ronda, like, I don't have a women's title belt. So it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to put in one advertisement promo just to see how much she makes. Or, no, Becky, actually. Advertisement, and let's see what is. We'll go. You know, this is actually fine. We'll see a 5, a 4, and a 2. And so let's just book this really quick just to see how much money we get, extra money we get from the advertisement. Skip this. Okay, so oh, it doesn't tell you. Oh, it should actually right here. So new fans, logistics, proud. Where is the television ad rates? Promo revenue bonus 3 million or 3,500 for 3 different people. I kind of wish it would have told me what it was for each of them. If I had to guess, 20, 10, and 5. If I had to guess, but like that is an extra 35k. And we look at here, that entire show, I only got about 100k, and 35 of that was because of the advertisement promo. So now I need to go in here and book my next show to say, hey, I need more money because I need to be able to buy those logistics to level up a lot faster. I don't care. So now I have 100k to play with this time, but again, I need to get these assets up as quick as I can, so that way I can start making money. I would try and get your arena, get to tier 4 arena as soon as possible, because that is where your big money is. But that's, again, just don't skip on advertisement promos, especially if you just need somebody to fill the slot. Like, I got a girl who was like a 5 promo, and I just let her do advertisements. And I don't think they lost any real... Let's see. What did Becky... So Ronda is still sticking around 65 popularity. Becky's around 60. I think the only person that really lost popularity was probably Carl because he was only 2 promo. So if they don't lose that much popularity, and if you're not really using them for matches anyways, then just throw them on advertisement slot and get some extra money. That way you can really figure it out. I'm going to do one more just because I want to see. We're just going to auto book the show. And then I'm just going to put Miss Becky here at advertisement. And I'm just curious now on how much I'll actually get for her advertisement promo. And then, so she got me 12,000. So she got me an extra $1,200 in at revenue because of that advertisement booking. So not bad, but honestly, if I wasn't doing with anything with Becky anyways, and I'm trying to build up my feud, and I need to fill up those promo slots, then just $1,200. This is giving me. I'm now currently halfway towards my goal of getting that 200k that I need to build up the next arena. So it's working out. And guys, that is my tips and tricks. But I have one last thing for you: the secret to rowing your rivalries. It's play the game. It's completely fucking random. So just have fun with the game. Sometimes your rivalries will rivalries row. Sometimes they won't, and it's okay. Even like when you play like submission matches where it says 50% chance to gain 2 rivalry points, you may not get any rivalry points. It's still a coin toss. So something to really consider, and just have fun with it. Your overall, they will grow. Probably, I would say like one of like at least 75% of the time when they get booked up against each other, they will just automatically increase the rivalries. But it does suck when you get a couple 25%ers in a row, and it does happen that way, unfortunately. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more. If you guys want to see my playthrough on extreme modes, then let me know. I'm gonna have some fun with this game. I've been really excited, but I'm probably not gonna make this much of a series. I don't really do too much YouTube stuff anymore, but I really felt like I wanted to pass my knowledge into this game onto you guys because I want the MyGM community to really just grow. I think it's just such a great mode and it's so fun and it's provided me with so much joy. So hopefully these tips and tricks have really been helpful for you. So talk to you all later, YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching. Like and subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and catch you next time.